Let's talk about what education means in the business context and really the broad term of education. What's covered under that? What isn't? How do we define what education looks like at our business? And I want to use an example that many people would be familiar with. And let's say that I'm in the market to buy a new television. So I go down to the store and I start speaking with the salesperson, and the salesperson's telling me all about the different audio settings available for this television. And audio is really important to me. So I'm listening to all these different features and the different ways that this television supports audio. And let's pause there. So this is basically informative content. Would we call that education? Typically, no, we would refer to that as marketing content. It's informing, but it's doing so with the intention of engaging, getting interest, building awareness. So right there, we have some content that starts to feel like it might be educational, but it's really the primary purpose, of course, is marketing. So let's keep moving forward. So now the salesperson actually demos for me the different settings available on this TV and shows them to me. So they go through the different menus and they show the different audio settings. So again, let's pause. This is a demonstration. Is that education? Typically, we would refer to that as education-based marketing. So that's where you start to cross over a bit, where you are somewhat teaching, but you're doing so again with the general purpose of marketing, the purpose of getting somebody interested in taking that action, which is typically a purchase, some kind of conversion. There's some instruction there, but it's not really with the primary purpose of teaching how to do something. So, for example, I don't own the television. So if I go home to start, with the television and I start to try to adjust the audio settings, it's not that I actually learned how to do that watching this demonstration. I'm just more aware of what's capable and generally how I might go about doing it. So that's where you start to see a little bit of an overlap between marketing and marketing content and education. Okay, so now let's say that I've purchased the television. The salesperson did their job. I purchased the television. I get home. I now want to make, just those audio settings for myself. So what do I do? Well, this is where I would probably go to some kind of reference material, a knowledge base, YouTube video, whatever it is, a short piece of content, video or text or otherwise, that's going to help me walk through how to set my audio settings. Now, this is a really common use of knowledge base. You're stuck in a step, for example, and you want to be able to take that next step to use the product. And at this point, the television company may feel like that's all they need to do. They need to create this knowledge base material because they have found that their customers typically get stuck on steps like this, and they want to provide that material so they can get unstuck and keep using the product. And then that may by itself solve the problem. And that's where you can see reference material being very helpful, again, to kind of get unstuck in a process or to just quickly reference something that's necessary. So would you call it education or not? It is educational in the sense that there's an instruction there of how to do something. But whether or not you define that as a broader customer education could vary. So let's keep the metaphor going or the illustration. So let's say I follow the steps, but I'm not actually satisfied with my audio quality. Or maybe I have different scenarios, different types of audio I want to have, different settings I want to have for different purposes. Maybe I'm using different devices. Maybe I'm in different settings. Maybe I'm moving this TV around from different places. There could be any number of reasons that particular reference content is not actually satisfying my needs there. I need to understand more broadly the customization options, the different concepts behind these different audio settings. Maybe I need to get deeper into the weeds with some of the hardware around the setup of the settings. But there's basically like more that I need to really flesh out my understanding and my confidence level of using this system in different scenarios. And in that case, I would do more competency-based education. That's a bit more of your course material where you're using instructional design and you're helping build a level of proficiency in a topic, in some kind of competency that's going to create some ability to critically think, to use the product in multiple scenarios, to have more confidence, as I mentioned, with using the product in the first place. So it could be that the television company has seen that there's quite a lot of dissatisfaction with the audio settings, and they get bad reviews around that. So now they're going to create this more proactive educational experience to help specifically for people who want to use, this audio setting in an advanced way. So that would be considered more of your sort of traditional education, traditional learning experience. And so what we see there, I just covered 4 different types of content that you see at a company. The marketing content, which is an initial informative, like, here's what we offer and why that matters. Then the more demonstration, kind of education-based marketing, where you might see like, here's how to do this thing, or here's 5 best practices, which starts to cross over into teaching, but isn't quite actually teaching. Then you have reference-based education or instruction. And this is, again, commonly in knowledge base. And the purpose of that is to help somebody get unstuck and move forward and set something up, do something basically once or twice to keep moving forward in the product. And then the fourth one is that more sort of long form, competency based curricular approach to education, which you typically see in something like a customer academy or any other kind of LMS. Now, often the sort of pushback will come up where it's like, well, customers aren't going to take these long form courses, so that's why we're using knowledge bases. That's why we're putting quick little things in somewhere where they can just access it when they want to. And that is a valid concern. However, the answer to that is not to simply abandon building proficiency. It's to create an experience that doesn't feel academic for your customers. And that's something we will cover in an upcoming video.